Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Array of Champions, the core rules. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this extremely high fantasy role-playing game, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the Modular Rules. Different gaming groups will have different ways of interacting with their game. Array of Champions reflects the diverse groups of people that play tabletop role-playing games by making certain aspects of the game customizable. You have 3 tables covering several optional or customizable rules to play the sort of experience that your group craves. For example, when it comes to death, you have the optional rule of merciful death. When reduced to 0 fate points, you are knocked unconscious. You can only be slain if the party is defeated. The game master does not necessarily need to kill, and death could have other consequences. When it comes to pros, it eliminates the chances of unexpected character death, derailing the plot. It's easier to get emotionally attached to your character. When it comes to the cons, the decreased danger can result in reckless actions that derail the game. The improbability of death can bore players. There's also hostile death. Upon reaching 0 fate points, your champion is slain. Concerning the pros, overcoming overwhelming odds can feel really gratifying. Each combat can become a real adrenaline rush. When it comes to the cons, character death can be so common that role-playing suffers. Your ability to connect with the characters you make and see them as more than a stat block suffers. A string of bad luck feels worse in hostile. Narratives can be difficult to keep together. Then we have the resurrection optional rules. Everywhere that's home to any form of civilization has a practitioner of resurrection. Resurrection can be performed on anyone with even a scrap of their body remaining, as long as they didn't die of natural causes. When it comes to pros, character death can be mitigated easily without breaking the flow of the campaign. When it comes to cons, it can feel like you are robbing the purpose of even having character death be present in your campaign. Concerning extraordinary resurrection, resurrection is reserved for powerful artifacts and one-time use rituals, if it's even an option at all. Concerning pros, death is meaningful and matters. Concerning cons, it's the same thing, death is meaningful and matters. Then we have narrative versus mechanical. Perhaps you want to handle things with partial narrative. Once per combat round, each player and the game master may narrate one of their actions as in full narrative, with the game master ruling on the result of the player's narration. Concerning pros, you get an element of the feel of full narrative without committing to it. Less creative burden on the players and especially the game master. Concerning cons, combat can be somewhat slow, and there could be inconsistent rulings as expected, mostly because of the narrative flow, and creative players will be pinning for full narrative. Maybe you want to handle things with full mechanical. Role-playing in combat is strictly flavor and does not translate into any meaningful mechanical advantage. Concerning pros, the most balanced version of the game can be found with this way, at least when it comes to the rules. The playing field is perfectly even. Combat is at its fastest. Concerning cons, it becomes easy for the narrative to become fully divorced from combat. Combat may be less engaging if the players abandon roleplay. Creative players may feel unrewarded for their efforts. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about the basic classes. These modular rules are going to modify the game greatly, both in theme and in mechanics. So it's a good idea to talk it out with your group before getting into the adventure, otherwise, some players may not like how death or resurrection or even the narrative aspect proceeds. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.